Hi, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome to the Black Girl's Guide to Natural Medicine podcast. I am your host, Dr. Sarah Ellis. I am a naturopathic doctor and the founder of Ellis Family Wellness. Today, you can see by the title, are you guys drinking enough water? I already know the answer is no. So let's jump right into how much water you should be drinking, tips on how to drink more water if you're one of those people who say you don't like the taste of water, and also how to tell if you're dehydrated. Because I think it's easy for us to know, like, oh, I'm dehydrated if my urine looks a certain color or if I feel thirsty. But there are other more subtle ways that our body tells us whether or not we have enough water in our system. So, why is water important? Water is 60% of our body, 75% of our brain. And so it's very important that we are replenishing the water that we're losing through our breath, through sweat, and through our digestion, urine, and bowel movements. It's important that we replenish that because our body needs it for every single function. Here are some ways that water is important for our bodies. One, it helps us regulate our temperature through sweating, and it helps keep our mucous membranes moist. So, our mucous membranes are our mouth, our nose, and our eyes. Our mucous membranes is our first line of defense for our immune system. We have tons of immune cells and receptors in our mouth and in our nose. And so, if these areas are dry, then those cells are able to do their job. They're able to pick up on pathogens. And so, our immune system can be a little bit more robust because that area is healthier. Also, water carries nutrients and oxygen to our cells. In addition, it helps lubricate our joints and our spine. So, if you're someone who has joint pain, achy knees, not everybody has those Meg the Stallion knees, drink some more water. Also, it lessens the burden on our kidneys and on our liver. So, our kidneys and our liver are our primary detoxification organs. Drinking more water helps our kidneys flush out toxins better. It helps our liver do the same thing. So, if you are always one of those people who are like, oh, I need to detox, what do I need to do to detox? You need to drink more water. Okay. I mean, it's funny because a lot of the patients that we used to see at school, in my clinic at school, and even some of my newer clients, they kind of get frustrated because they'll come in and they're expecting, to have to run all of these labs and make big changes to their diet. And we're always like, you need to drink more water. You're not drinking enough water. And they're like, is that it? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it makes such a big difference. So, how much water should you be drinking? This is a great question. And I think for a long time, we have always been focused on the old adage, 8 cups of water a day. But new research has shown that women should be drinking 11 and a half cups of water a day. Now, that comes to 2.7 liters. And if you're looking for a reference point, think of one of those big, tall, smart water bottles. That bottle is 1.5 liters. So if you're a woman and you want to know how much water you should be drinking, you should aim to drink about 2 of those bottles. Now, I say all this to say, if you are only drinking 3 or 4 cups of water, which the average person is drinking about 4 cups of water a day, tomorrow, do not start drinking 12 cups of water, okay? Ease your way into it. So that means drink to your thirst. If you drink 5 cups and you're no longer thirsty, okay, cool. Then tomorrow, aim to drink 5.5, 6. Just taper your way up there. For men and breastfeeding women, you should be drinking 15.5 cups of water, which comes out to about 3.7 liters or 2.5 of those big, tall, smart water bottles. The 2.5 liters It comes out to about 128 ounces of water. So if you are only 100 pounds, you do not need to drink 128 ounces. But if you're 250 pounds, you should. So think about how much you need to drink based on your weight and where you live. If you live in the desert and it's summertime, you're going to have to drink more water. If you live in a more humid place and it's wintertime, your daily requirements might be a little less than normal. So play it by ear. But if you're looking for just a basic number to help you just reach your goals, two big smart water bottles should do you right. All right. Now, I also mentioned the difference with breastfeeding women. And as a breastfeeding woman, you guys probably know our mouth gets very dry when we're nursing because the children are taking all of our nutrients and all of our liquid. So we have to replenish that. Of course, the best way to maintain your milk supply is to nurse and nurse frequently and pump often when you're away from your baby. But improving your hydration levels will also help in maintaining a good milk supply. Now that we know how much you should be drinking, how do you know when you're dehydrated? Me personally, I can tell because my mouth gets dry. My urine is a darker yellow, and also my skin feels dry. Like my whole body feels like, if you guys have ever watched SpongeBob, you know, when he went to, what was that little squirrel's name? Sandy? When he would go in her little house and he'd like dry up as a sponge. That's how I feel when I'm dehydrated. I just feel like that all over. So take some time and think, how do I know if I'm dehydrated? And then keep an eye on those things. So next time you notice that, you're like, let me go get me some water. Common signs that you're dehydrated. Interestingly enough, brain fog. So dehydration can affect your memory, your attention, and your cognition. So if you're finding that your focus is kind of off, you know, you just don't feel fully present, drink some water. Also, like I said earlier, darker urine. Now, I'm not talking about super dark brown urine. That's concerning. You need to go to your doctor ASAP. I'm talking about like the darker yellow. It's still yellow, it's just a little more concentrated. Now, your urine should be a very pale yellow or light yellow, and that's a sign of being well hydrated. Anything darker than a lighter yellow, you need to drink more water. Now, a caveat to this is if you're taking a multivitamin that's high in B vitamins, your urine is actually going to be like a brighter, almost fluorescent yellow. That is not an indication of your hydration level. It's more so because B vitamins are water soluble, and once you take more than what your cells can absorb and use, it's excreted in your urine. So that's why, if you've noticed after you take a vitamin, your pee is like neon yellow. That's why. All right, another sign that you're dehydrated: dry skin. Yeah, and not just the skin on your face, your arms, your legs, your body. If you notice that you always have like itchy skin, or you just can't seem to get rid of that ashiness, you need to drink some water. Same with your hair. If you're struggling with dry hair, drink some water. You see how water like cures everything? Everyone talks about coconut oil is like the cure all. No, friend, water. You feeling sad? Drink some water. Okay? Dry skin, drink some water. Next, and this was what I found to be pretty interesting: bad breath. Have you guys ever wondered why morning breath is always the worst? Well, our saliva has antibacterial components in it. And when you're sleeping, especially if you snore, your saliva is at the lowest during your sleep time. And if you're snoring, it's often because your mouth is open and so your mouth gets super dry. Well, when your mouth is dry, then you experience a bacterial overgrowth, which causes bad breath. So If you and your breath is a little hot, drink some water. Next, craving sweets. If you find that you are someone who always is craving sweets, number one, we should probably look at your blood sugar regulation. Okay, that's the first step. But then step number two, it can often be a sign of dehydration. So, whenever we are hungry or our body thinks that we are in a state of famine, it will break down the storage form of sugar to increase our blood sugar. But if your liver is having a hard time breaking down those big blocks of sugar, then it's oftentimes that's when you'll get a craving for sweets. Now, the most often time that your body will have a struggle and a hard time breaking down those big blocks of sugar is if you're thirsty or dehydrated. So if you find that you're craving sweets and you're trying really, really hard not to eat that candy bar or get a donut, drink some water. And lastly, my favorite way to decide and figure out if you're dehydrated is the skin pinch test. So you take some skin, ideally on the palm of your hand, and you pull it up, pinch it up. Now, in a well hydrated person, that level of pinched skin will go right back down immediately or within a couple of seconds. If your skin is taking longer to kind of go flat again, you're dehydrated, you need to go drink some water. So do the skin pinch test right now and then let me know in the comments if you need to go drink some water. I can already tell you the answer is yes. All right, so tips if you're someone who doesn't like to drink water. I hear this all the time. People hate drinking water. And it's likely because you're drinking that nasty behind tap water. Okay? It is 2021. We don't drink tap water anymore. And if you insist on drinking tap water, you need a filter. Okay? So you don't like water because it's nasty in the tap. Now, easy ways to improve the taste of water. Eat juicy fruits. So that's like watermelon, cucumbers, grapefruit, citrus fruits, veggies like celery and radishes, and even berries like strawberries. The best thing about eating those juicy fruits and vegetables is that you can add them to your water. However, I do not suggest that you add celery or radishes to your water because that is likely going to be nasty. But that's your business. In the words of Tabitha Brown, that's your business if that's what you feel like doing. Personally, I love adding like orange, watermelon, strawberry, and I love cucumber. I know some people don't like the flavor of cucumber, but add those to your water. What I do is I have this gigantic water bottle at home, and so I prepare my water for the day the night before. So I'll cut up some fruit, put it in the bottle, pour water on top of it, leave it overnight. And so now the flavors get to marry with each other and blend, and it just tastes really good. And it's a lot stronger flavor overnight than if you just put it in the morning and sip it throughout the day. Another great way to improve the taste of water is adding electrolyte powders. Now, it's very important that you pick an electrolyte powder that does not have any added sugar because then that kind of defeats the purpose because sugar can naturally be dehydrating. So the electrolyte powder adds some really great benefits. So it replenishes our body with vitamins and minerals that are important for everyday use in our body, but also it can improve the flavor of your water. Generally low in sugar, adds a good flavor, and it also replenishes your electrolytes, especially if you're someone who struggles with muscle cramps and Charlie horses. Absolute great addition. And then also a personal favorite of mine, sparkling water. I love sparkling water. However, I will make this distinction. I like sparkling waters that do not have artificial sugars like sucralose or stevia. And that's because I personally think they taste nasty, but also artificial sweeteners just are not good for you. So my favorite brands, I love Spindrift, I love LaCroix, And there's another one, Waterloo. Okay, Waterloo is my personal favorite. The flavors are just great. They taste natural. They don't have the artificial sweeteners. And it's a really good way, fun way, yummy way to get your water requirements. Lastly, herbal teas. I love drinking tea. I know for a lot of people, it can be hit or miss because a lot of people aren't a fan of hot water, but you can easily make an iced herbal tea. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of preparation. So, the same way overnight, I'll cut up some fruit and put it in a big jar or my big water bottle for water. I'll do the same with tea. You just take the tea bags, I cut the tag off of it, I leave the string in. If I'm doing a big 45, 50 ounce bottle of water, then I will do 2 to 3 tea bags. And you can either do hot water and let it steep and cool in the fridge, or I just do regular cold water, pour it over the tea bags, let it sit overnight, and then I drink it during the day. My favorite iced teas are a nettle tea from Traditional Medicinals. I love an iced peppermint tea. And what was the other one that I like? There is a spearmint echinacea iced tea that I really like, and it's great because it's cold and flu season. It'll take taste really good. Now, so you know how much you should drink. You know how to tell if you're dehydrated, and we talked about how to improve the taste of water. So, I wanted to finish off today's show with two things. Let's talk about some everyday ways to stay hydrated, and let's talk about the importance of water quality. So, water quality, like I said earlier, water makes up 60% of our bodies and 75% of our brains. It is used in every single cell of our body. So, it's that much more important to use super high quality water. And so, what does that mean? Like I said, skip the tap. Okay, we're not doing tap water. Nasty. Okay, if you're gonna do tap water, use a Brita filter. And if you're feeling super fancy and you got a bunch of coins, you can install a Berkey water filter in your house. I am not there yet, but those are goals. Next, opt for spring water. My favorite brand of spring water is Niagara. And spring water is naturally full of minerals because it comes from nature's springs. And the companies that do spring waters, they do a really, really great job of filtering it. So it's important to find a brand of water that you like and then also try to avoid plastic as much as possible. I know that that's not always feasible. So, for example, with the Niagara bottles, in our house, we use the big 2 or 3 gallon bottles, but I will just pour it into my steel hydro flask rather than drinking from the plastic bottles. But I know everything isn't super feasible. So if you're going to drink from plastic, all I ask is that you do not leave it in the car. And if you leave it in the car, throw it away because the heat from the car actually can cause particles from the plastic to leach into your water, and the chemicals in plastics have been shown to disrupt our hormones. So that's really a common reason why we're all experiencing so many different hormonal changes and challenges because of the impact of plastics on our bodies and in our water. So I do have a question. Okay, great question. Yes. So if you're purchasing a pack of water, like I said, Niagara water is great. I'm really not a fan of Dasani or Aquafina simply because those are like the water brands of Pepsi and Coca-Cola. And I'm not going to try to slander Coca-Cola, but I just feel like Dasani is Fulton County tap water. That's how I feel. I said it. I don't know if it's true. It's likely not true, but that's how I feel. I also try to avoid Nestle because as a corporation, it doesn't have good morals and good philosophy. And yeah, they're just not here for the betterment of people and the communities that they're in. Now, lastly, everyday ways to stay hydrated. These are easy ways for you to kind of get those 12 cups of water for women, 16 for men. Breastfeeding women, here's an easy way for you to work yourself and work your way up there. So, start your day with a glass of water. For me, it's either I'll wake up and go to the kitchen and pour myself some water, or likely I'll have a glass of water left over from the night before. So I'll drink that when I wake up. Oftentimes, my mouth is dry anyway, and it's just a really great way to start. I do a cup. Some people would do 2 cups, just whatever meets your thirst at that moment, first thing in the morning. Next, keep water with you at all times. So I carry around a bottle of water. I have a gigantic bottle of Niagara water in my fridge in my office. And if you're going to carry around water, use a steel bottle, like a Hydro Flask, or if you just look up steel water bottle on Amazon, you should be able to find some affordable options. So, yes, keep water with you at all times. Then I recommend drinking water after meals. I know some people recommend before, but drinking before meals, especially if you're drinking cold water, it can actually slow your digestion, which can cause gas and indigestion because you're eating while your stomach and your intestines are kind of chilling out and going slow. So that's going to impact your digestion. But I try to drink a cup of water after I eat. One, if I have already eaten my meal and I still feel kind of hungry, the water will help keep me full. And two, water is important for our digestion. So it's just a great addition. And then if you're also drinking like a cocktail or a glass of wine, you guys know the old adage, for every cup that you're drinking of a drink water. So those are good, easy tips. And then if you are one of those people who experiences an afternoon crash, number one, you need to come see me because that's a sign that your cortisol levels are out of whack. But an easy way to kind of boost your energy without going for that afternoon coffee is to drink some cold water. It's going to help pep you up because of the cold temperature, and also your body is being hydrated, your brain is getting flushed with nice, great water and nutrients, and so it's going to kind of help perk you up. And then lastly, drink water before bed. I'm often thirsty because I'm nursing, so I'm always thirsty. But it's kind of a great routine to add into your sleep hygiene routine. Now, I know some people may not be too keen on drinking water if you tend to wake up often to use the bathroom. But if that's the case, then drink some maybe an hour or two before bed so you're not up all night running to the bathroom. So that was today's show. I hope that it was educational. I will catch you guys next Tuesday, the Black Girl's Guide to Natural Medicine. If you've missed this episode, you can always watch the replay, and the audio will be up wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all over the internet, child. I'm everywhere. So if you missed this video, catch the replay or listen tomorrow. I will catch you guys next time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.